Okay. All right. I think that should fix it. Oh man. Streaming is so hard. Someday I will get through a stream and everything will work perfectly. All right, let me back up a bit here. Uh
that are being worked on. We can talk about a couple of them today. So first up, we're going to talk about the PAAR.
PAR is a assault rifle that is may fill the role of someone that wanted something bigger from bearing manufacturer.
Up until now, it's been our squadron exclusive rifle. In fact,
okay,
I've
so
had
I don't
come
know
up to
how
me
much got
saying,
cut out,
Please
but
release the
they
PAR.
showed the civilian
And what we
version.
wanted to do
They
is
do not
take
show the
that
military
P8
version
base
here.
and do a version that we were was slightly more tailored towards the civilian market.
A lot bigger and a little bit longer than the current.
I do like that they show this shot though. This is a good comparison to the P4 and the P8. And I think this kind of encapsulates some of the reasons I don't like the P4. I really hate how stubby it looks with this shorter barrel. It's kind of like an SBR, I guess, but it just feels very flat here on the front. I like the more varied look that the P8 has. There's a lot more shape variation. Yeah, it looks weird, right? I would guess in real life this would be like a 8-inch barrel. I mean, it's itty bitty.
P4AR, and personally one of my favorite weapons that we've ever worked on.
It is kind of
because they push it as kind of like an assault
so it's had a little
rifle,
bit of lightning done to it.
but it looks
Had
more
some
like
of
an
the
SMG.
more aggressive visuals, tidied up a touch.
This one,
We did a redesign
the
of
PA
the
is definitely big boy gun.
And it's had a bunch of new skins and variants done for the consumer market.
Why not just put the one from Squadron in?
The honest answer is we want to kind of hold that back for Squadron, I guess. It's, you know, it is one of the main weapons you use throughout the campaign, and we still want that to feel unique and special. It's one of the things that we do kind of want to hold back as a bit of a hero experience. You know, it is the standard issue, I think is the correct way of saying it, military weapon for the UEE. It's a workhorse, it's reliable, it's functional, and it just gets the job done.
So the Volt rifle is another new weapon that we're really.
Okay, let's pause that for a second. We got her bringing up straight facts in the chat. Once you see it, you'll never not see it. This is this is the P4 from Star Citizen, just in a different paint scheme. It's a caulking gun.
Releasing in the PU, a brand new manufacturer.
I'm really excited about this one. I really like
electric and beam.
I know a lot of people don't like the beam citizen memes because everything in Star Citizen is turning into a beam, but I really like beams. I think that they're cool, they're flashy, they feel space age. So I am really excited about this brand coming out.
Ammunition type, using electric batteries to power their weapons. They're very techy, they feel very professionally homemade. It's not thrown together, but also it's not professionally manufactured.
Like
This is the manufacturer.
like they're saying, this looks like something that I could probably order some parts for
but
and
they
build it
still
here
wanted
in my
it
house.
to look cool and shiny, but they are not really reliable. And
All right, we got some important stats here. 148 volts, 450 amps, 120 watt hours, 3000 amp hours. Let's see. I think it's just volts times amps is watts. Yeah, volts, amps, and power factor, but because it's a game, we'd probably just assume that the power factor is 100%. Power factor is essentially the efficiency of a circuit. In the real world, nothing is ever 100% efficient, so you always have to demote your math a little bit. So you're sending. I don't know if they intended this or not, but that's funny. 66,600 watts, so you got 666 at the start of that number. That's kind of cool. It's Satan's laser beam. Can I change my Taurus tractor beam for a large version of that beam weapon? That would be dope. I've said for a long time I really want to see beams in Star Citizen on ships. So if they start adding legitimate beam weapons like on the is it the LAT? The Republic gunship. Let's see. Like if we could get some of this going on in Star Citizen with big long laser beams reaching out into space, I would be a very happy camper.
In terms of long-term use.
We wanted a manufacturer where people could use these weapons and then they could also repair and upgrade and kind of, they look like you would be able to strip them down and kind of field repair them or work in your workshop in your ship or in your habs or wherever and kind of really get into the...
So crafting confirmed? Just kidding. We knew that crafting was coming, but it gives me hope that they're talking about this because I would love to see a lot more gunsmithing in the game. Like you can add little attachments to the end of your rifle barrel, but besides that, there's not a whole lot that you can do. I mean, we got lights and optics, and that's about it. As far as I know, there's no grips yet, and I think that that's something that they talked about in. I think it was a Star Citizen Live at some point. They talked about more weapon customization. I would like to see something that close to the level of customization you get in Tarkov. I think that would be like years out from where we're currently at. But if we could get to the level where you're like changing out barrels for different traits, I think that would be pretty cool. A great compromise for me, though, would be Battlefield 3 level of customization, just as far as like how many attachments there are, and then the freedom to be able to kit it out the way that you want. None of the arbitrary limits that Call of Duty and Battlefield have to put because of balancing things in an arena situation.
The nitty-gritty of how these weapons work.
But being able to craft different batteries and stuff, different capacitors for your guns, that would be really cool. Kind of fitting. And this really reminds me of a slimmed down Glock pistol sight. Let's see, Glock iron sight. Some of the newer ones actually come with triple dots, but the classic Glock iron sights was this guy here. So you get this squared off U shape. I think it's actually kind of a terrible design. I have a Glock 19X myself, and mine has the more standard triple dot setup. So it's got night sights with dot here, dot for the front sight, and dot on the side. I think that's a much better sight. This, I feel like it's really easy to just have the front sight swim around in that U, and it's harder to take accurate shots. But it also doesn't super matter the orientation because in a game, the game does all the alignment for you. So it looks really cool, but it doesn't have any of the drawbacks that the real Glocks have.
And screws and how it all kind of comes together, that it visually is.
All right. This is a combination flathead and hex drive. So now we know what kinds of screws we'll be using in the future.
It's something quite nice and exciting, I think.
There is anything like this in a PU as of now. This will suit more of the guys who wanted to show off rather than to be military-style weapons. You will have some shiny, cool guns that you can show to your friends and say there. I did it. This is a really cool looking gun.
Looks amazing.
I've always been a little...
And it's really interesting. I don't know if you guys caught that. It starts off firing like light pellets, and then it turns into the beam. So it's kind of like it ramps up to that full damage. So I wonder what that's going to mean if you're trying to use this in a 1v1, is your damage output going to be pretty bad until it gets to that beam state? And so it might not actually be a good weapon for taking on a single target, but maybe against multiple targets like this, it does really well, because once you get the beam going, it's just insane. A lot of things to speculate about until we have it. Let's watch that one more time.
You will have some shiny, cool guns that you can show to your friends and say, there, I did it. This is a really cool looking gun.
So, pellet,
I've always
beam.
been a little bit opposed to very big flashy lasers and electricity on firearms. I think it...
And this is the one thing I don't like Harry Potter saying about the game, is that he doesn't like the beams.
And say, there, I did it. This is a really cool looking gun.
I've always been a little bit opposed to very big flashy lasers and electricity on firearms. I think it can drift away from my idea of traditional firearm. But
Bad
I
Harry
think
Potter,
working
don't say that.
within the confines of what Vault as manufacturer are, being a home-built kit that you could order online supposedly and manufacture yourself, I think really fits.
It also kind of dances around. So it's not like a straight laser beam where it would just project straight out as a line. You can see it's kind of dancing around a little bit. So it's really pretty cool.
Since the idea of it being more of a fun ammunition type.
This is still work in progress, but you can see the direction where it's going.
So that was like the high-end version. And then we jump to this, which is a Gray Cat inspired Pyro SMG. And I was trying to figure out where they get the idea for this. I feel like I've seen elements of this in the past. But this does not look like... Oh, well, I'm looking at the wrong thing, I think. Let's see. Gray Cat. Oh, what's it called? Okay, I think I figured it out. So we've got the Gray Cat multi-tool, right? Which is the Swiss Army knife version. It's a little teeny handheld thing that you can swap different modules into. And then we've got the... Where'd I put it? We've got this guy, the Max Lift Tractor Beam. And I was trying to figure out, okay, did they kit bash a Max Lift in order to make the Pyro SMG? But then I remembered, no, we saw something else that they were working on for Gray Cat, and that's this. This is the industrial cutting tool. And so you can see that to make the Pyro SMG, they basically took out this center portion, added a different handle to it, and now you use it to kill people instead of to cut metal. So there is a in-universe kind of analog to where it starts to give it that kit bash look, which I think is really cool. But yeah, this is where it comes from. That is your Pyro SMG. This gives me a lot of hope that you might be able to actually make this in the future. You know, like maybe you have one of these start to go defunct and you give it a second life as an SMG. Want to buy arc rifle from Helldivers in Star Citizen. So I actually have not played Helldivers yet. I downloaded it this last week as part of like a big Steam purchase that I probably can't actually afford. But I make bad financial decisions, as we know. And so I plan on getting into it, but I have not seen this beam rifle you speak of. Arc rifle, Helldivers. Helps if you spell things right. Okay, so I don't want to like pull up someone else's video while I'm on stream because that could get me in trouble. But here's a screenshot I found, and if that's how it works, we're kind of getting that, right? So just kind of like lobs a string of electricity out. That's pretty cool. Arc thrower is the better term. Yeah. So this is basically using a nail gun or a welding gun as a weapon.
This is something very different to any of our mainstream manufacturers.
A very small handheld submachine gun, similar to I think a real-world example would be a Tech 9.
And the whole idea with this kind of pyro weaponed theme is that these things have been made by just people living on the fringes of the universe. They've used whatever they can get their hands on to make something that works for them.
Imagine Mad Max type of gun that was scraped with everything that you can find around.
Sort of break the art conventions that we've been working with for the last...
Okay, minor criticism, but I hope that in the year 2953 we are not still using this kind of sling attachment. I hate these things. They are the worst. They make a lot of noise. They never stay where you want them to. I much prefer a nicer sling mount, like even just the more compact QD sling mounts are so much nicer to use than this thing. I hate this style of ring.
Sort of break the art conventions that we've been working with for the last however many years.
Is that straight up stapled on the back? Look at the back of this handle, guys.
Art conventions that we've been working.
I think those are just staples. Like when you're trying to weld two plastic pieces together, you can use staples and just kind of melt them into the plastic. They do make staples especially for that. But this doesn't look... It looks metallic, so it doesn't look like it's a fabric sewing like a cover onto the handle. It looks like this thing is just stapled together. That's a fun detail.
For the last however many years.
Internally, we call them non because they...
And they don't talk about this one, but I want to see this one too. This looks like it's also made from Grey Cat tools just by the coloring, but it's hard to say with any kind of certainty without seeing more of the top side, which I don't think we get to do in this video.
It doesn't have any manufacturer.
It's made by a guy named Steve.
Yeah, you can say so.
The fact that it's very compact and small allows you to hook very tightly on corners, giving yourself a very low exposure when peeking corners or peeking over cover, and has an extremely high fight rate.
So this is an SMG, right? In SMG, you think close quarters, high damage, usually high recoil, but in close quarters, it just absolutely wrecks. This shot of it shooting another character, it looks kind of underwhelming.
Allows you to hook very tightly on corners, giving yourself a very low exposure when peeking corners or peeking over cover, and has an extremely high fight rate.
Like, in all of that, yeah, there was times where it was arcing off. It didn't make connection with the guy who's shooting at the whole time. But it does make me wonder, what's the time to kill on that gun? And I'm speculating out the wazoo right now. I have no idea, because this is just very preliminary footage. But, I don't know. I hope it does a little better than that.
Fire, so very good for those really close encounters, but I wouldn't be using it at long ranges due to the lack of a stock. They're really quite cool weapons to work on, and look forward to using maybe more in the future.
Where the hell is my crossbow?
Herb says, yeah, it's almost like stepping on full gas in a Tesla for the first time. It does the thing, but there's no audio impact. I don't know if you guys have ever sat in an electric vehicle. The acceleration is pretty insane. I've only personally driven my buddy's Chevy Volt, which is not, it's not a performance electric vehicle by any means, but it does smoke my Focus, at least in the 0 to 60. They're fun to drive, but it is weird because there's no growling of the engine to let you know that you're making it work hard. It just, you're not moving and then you are moving much faster.
Do you know what? Chris brought the crossbow up recently. He was like, are we going to finish it? And I'm like, well, it's kind of there. There was one thing stopping us with the way the bolts interacted with stuff that we couldn't do at the time.
The fabled crossbow is an asset that we in the weapon content team have been trying to get pushed out for a long time now.
At the point of
It's a really
this
cool looking
crossbow,
thing, but this
it was
thing
decided
is
that the
massive.
bullets needs to stuck when you fire them and not disappear like any other bullet. And this prevented the release of the crossbow because we cannot.
It's hardly a crossbow at this point. It's more like a.
It's just a super advanced, cool-looking crossbow. It's got these really cool.
It's more like a
pointing
handheld
bolts
ballista
in it because obviously, yeah, we don't really want to carry around these massive, great big kind of quiver of arrows. So it's got these really nice kind of compact little bolts that load into it.
Adding more.
And I'm not sold on the electric arcing of the crossbow bolts. I'm sure that they're probably thinking that there will be multiple types. I mean, every crossbow we've had in other games, you could equip like explosive bolts, higher penetration bolts, long range bolts, or concussive bolts. You know, so that's probably just one ammo type for the crossbow. But I'm hoping that not every single bolt is going to arc because I think it's a little absurd for a crossbow. I mean, the whole point is supposed to be a silent, stealthy kill, right? And if you're announcing your presence with bolts of lightning every time, I think it kind of defeats the purpose.
More unique firearms and ways to take out enemies silently is something that the game would definitely benefit from, and so seeing the crossbow come out into the PU would be...
What does it say? Turn for manual loading?
Something that made me extremely happy, and I know a lot of the players have been asking me about this too.
Not directly involved with weapon content, but still working on the weapons, audio guys and VFX guys. We're working with them directly, and they make our gun shines and sings.
I'll have done my part of the artwork.
Like, the thing is, we're talking about audio now. The crossbow is louder than the Pyro SMG. Like,
And has an extremely high
here's the SMG.
low exposure when peeking corners or peeking over cover, and has an
Here's the crossbow.
Yeah, we don't really want to carry around these massive, great big kind of quiver of arrows. So it's got these really nice kind of compact little bolts that load into it.
adding more unique firearms and ways.
I mean, of course you can gamify it and just say,
the
well, the NPCs don't recognize the sound.
Something that made me extremely happy.
It doesn't trigger their audio
about this too.
like the Pyro SMG would, but
with weapon content, but still working on the weapons, audio guys and VFX guys. We're working with them directly, and they make our gun shines and sings.
I'll have done my part of the artwork. It'll have gone down the production line, and a few months later I'll bring it into the editor just to remind myself of what I worked on, and I'll shoot it and hear some incredible audio and be like, oh wow, someone's gone all out on this one.
They're a downstream team that, much like animation, it really brings to life this otherwise static and fairly boring object.
Their work is incredible. I've tried to tell them at some point I want to see them add the lead pipe 01 sound effect into the game, but I've yet to get an approval on that one.
Game development is a group effort. When it comes out great, it's just a miracle.
I think I know who you're talking about, Herb. I feel like his I was trying to find a video of his so I could show at least what his face looks like. But now I'm wondering if I'm thinking of the wrong guy, because the guy I'm thinking of, I know he also does a lot with slingshots. I feel like is his last name Spraw? Okay, this is who I'm thinking of. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen any of his videos. I don't want to say his name wrong, but that looks like George to me, George Spraw. Yeah, this guy is super cool. I'll have to check out his videos because he's got some newer stuff that I have not seen. But he inspired me to cause a lot of accidental damage to my home at one point. He makes some really cool videos. And I think this is what you're talking about with the like mag-fed crossbow. Yeah, really cool guy.
At some point of a lot of people involved into it.
You know, it is still a first-person game.
Okay, and they just brush over this, but come on, bring these Volt guns into the game. I want these so bad. This, I assume, is more like an SMG variant. It looks like it's shorter and stubbier, and these look like they don't take up as much space as the longer assembly we saw on the other one.
And I think that, you know, the work we do is important. I hope we're significant.
And there's no startup on this one too. That's the other thing that I noticed. The other one, it would shoot pellets to start, and then it would do the beam. This one,
game, and I think
beam
that,
right
you know,
away.
the work we do is important. I hope we're a significant part of your interaction with Star Citizen.
I do enjoy it when, you know, I see people having fun and, you know, enjoying the weapons we've created and put into the, you know, the Star Citizen universe. There's a big community of people that take, you know, like in-game captures and screenshots and stuff, and seeing people take pictures of your work is really nice.
I would like people to know.
They also, I don't think they show this one working either, but we got a Volt pistol, and this would be my sidearm of choice if this was in the game. This looks sick.
That the feedback they give us, especially...
Oh, and minor detail, not super important, but very cool that they did this.
I would like people to know.
Okay, do you see how this is like a clear-ish piece of plastic? That's like a... It does a really good impression of the fiber optics that we put on weapon sights today. That's really cool. Very minor detail, but I appreciate it.
That the feedback they give us.
And Space AK, of course, you can't have any game without a AK in it somehow. No dust cover on this one, so this makes it seem like this is another kind of improvised, scrapped together weapon that you'd find in Pyro. Presumably there would also be more finished, nicer versions of this somewhere. And I love this big bayonet looking thing on the front. Kind of reminds me of guns from Gears of War, like the chainsaw gun. And I feel like this looks like it could have come off of Copian. I could be wrong.
Especially on our team, means a whole lot.
When we see a comment come up about something with the firearms that people might not like, we do take that on board. If it's not applied to the weapon, there's...
And I didn't really pay much attention to this one, but I wonder... We saw the SMG before. I wonder if this is like maybe a shotgun or an LMG. I don't think they're going to show this one shooting.
Speaking about, we'll try and avoid it on future ones. We're always learning.
And if there has been a weapon that you really enjoy using, or is your favourite weapon, then please do let us know in the comments, because the team will love to hear that sort of feedback. With our recent releases, you've seen a whole bunch of updates to how the weapons feel, how they function, and really bring some of those quality and life improvements to the weapons as a whole. And that's just taken a lot of hard work from the weapons department.
And this reminds me a lot of, I think it's the Sten that I'm thinking of. Yeah, Sten. Made in World War II. I think it was World War II. I get my World Wars mixed up. But very reminiscent, at least in the feeling between these two guns. The Sten was meant to be super cheap to manufacture and could be made with common hardware components. I mean, it's basically made out of pipes. So it's definitely fits the kind of improvised look that they're going for here.
There's a whole department.
They've done a lot
design,
right in the
animation,
art
audio,
side.
the effect, like the whole lot. And they've not had a great deal of limelight in these sort of events, but they're super dependable, and I'm very happy to kind of be able to get to talk about them today.
So what did we learn this week? Well, hopefully we learned a lot more about the...
And they've got two cameras set up for Jared in this shot. He's not in his typical behind the desk spot that he usually is in. So I feel like he does a lot more turning in this video. Kind of reminds me of the Michael Keaton Batman.
people that make up the current iteration of the weapon content team. That there's a whole host of new weapons making their way into the persistent universe. And that spaceships, of course, may dominate the conversation a lot of the time. But there's plenty of other ways to bring damage, death, and destruction to the universe of the first person being built. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the people and process of game development with you. And we'll see you all here next week.
Oh, he didn't do any turns in that scene. I feel like I need to go and watch the beginning part just to kind of show what that looks like. Explosive crossbow bolts confirmed. Okay, Rambo plus Pico equals what? It's Rico! We need Rico plushies. Is that a Vader I hear?
It is.
Okay, I'm going back to the start of this video because I got to make fun of Jared a little bit.
Welcome back to Inside Star Citizen, the only weekly behind-the-scenes docuseries showcasing the faces, features, and forward progress being forged in the first-person universe of Star Citizen. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee. Now, with Alpha 323 recently out, testing ongoing for the 323.2 cargo and hangar patch, and development turning its full attention to the upcoming major milestone that is Alpha 4.0 later this year, we're in one of those periods of ISC production where we like to experiment with the means and manner of the stories we tell. Because like the developers making the very game that we're covering, we want to try new things and new ways of doing what we do. So for the next 3 weeks, ISC will be a bit different than you might normally expect. That means we're going to spend a little more time than normal getting to know the folks themselves as opposed to just what they're working on. Things like asking the UK networking team to film a sort of dev diary.
You guys get the idea. He does a lot of rotating in the spot. Just looks kind of funny to me. Usually when you do a multi-camera setup, you don't have the person physically move. You just switch to the different camera angles. You do jump cuts. But I don't know. Maybe he was low on staff this day, so he's just kind of trying to one-man show the whole thing. It just looks kind of funny to me.
Does look fun.
How you doing, Vader?
I'm doing okay. I'm better.
So I wanted to kind of pour over the list of FPS weapons we have currently, because we've got a lot of room to expand things out. Keep in mind that this list is really long, but most of them are just one weapon type. And this will probably be... Now, this is... I looked at Seastone. This is going to be the more efficient way to look at this. So we've got, in the assault rifle category, we've got the Gallant, the Karna, P4, and that's it for now. Well, okay, and the S71. So we've got 4 assault rifles, 3 LMGs, quite a few pistols, actually. We've got the Arclight, the Coda, the LH86, the S31, the Salvo. Taser pistol, we did not see them shoot that, and we don't have it yet, so it doesn't count yet. And the UBRF. So 6 pistols, only 4 SMGs, or 4 assault rifles, but 6 pistols. Railgun, 1. We only have 1. But that's... I don't know if that deserves its own category on the website, like it shows. I think it's just a one-off specialty gun. Shotguns, we got the BR2, the Devastator, the R97, and the Ravager. So 4 shotguns. SMGs, we got the C54 Custodian, the Lumen 5, the P8 SC. And this is probably that SMG thing that we saw, the Quartz. But we've got 4 for now. Sniper rifles, we've got the A03, the Arrowhead, the Atscav, P6LR, and the Scalpel. So 5 sniper rifles. And then they have this category, other weapons. This is where you put your railgun, guys. Come on. We got the Animus missile launcher, the GP33 grenade launcher. These don't count yet because we don't have them. K Hicks missile launcher. I've never even heard of this thing. Oh, this looks pretty cool. Bring this in game. Come on, guys.
Ooh,
Right? I mean, that looks sick.
that looks pretty fearsome.
And it's a missile launcher, but I don't see an obvious barrel. Maybe it's more like a proton torpedo deal.
Yeah, like an energy missile launcher.
Yeah. That'd be pretty sweet.
Could be.
And then we've got our melee weapons. So, I mean, 4 assault rifles is a good start, but I mean, that would be pretty lightweight for most AAA game releases. There's definitely a lot of room to expand before they get to 1.0. And then I also wanted to kind of read through some of the changes here for 3.24. It's a pretty short post. And to me, that's not a super big surprise. I feel like we were really pushing it to have 4.0 come as soon as it was going to. And I feel like 3.24 gives them a way to kind of push that out a little further. Because if it's 3.23.2, we have a tighter expectation on the time frame. But if it's 3.24, then it makes sense to have it wait a little longer, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this kind of pads their time a bit so that they can get these features working a little better. But hi, everyone. With Alpha 3.23.1 out the door, our team has shifted focus to closing out what we had previously called 3.23.2. During internal testing of the upcoming patch, we've determined that its substantial updates justify labeling it as version 3.24. This change in version number doesn't indicate any changes to the patch itself or any future patches. Rather, it aligns what we consider to be a major update. We're excited for you to experience additions such as freight elevators, very big, storage access previously known as item banks, personal and instanced hangars, new cargo hauling missions, and more, all of which aim to make a lasting impact on the verse. Keep a close eye on Spectrum for updates soon, and we'll see you in game. So, yeah, 3.23.2 is now 3.24. Like I said, not too surprised there. What do you think, Vader?
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good analysis. They want have some changes that they want to roll out before 4.0. Maybe even keep us happy about not getting 4.0 yet. But at the same time, it's just too big for a 0.2. It's too many changes for that.
Yeah. Do you think that they're still going to make their goals for a lot of the CitizenCon features?
Yeah, I think the answer to that question is pretty much always no.
Yeah. I was really optimistic. I definitely got sucked up in the Kool-Aid this last year because they showed off lots of in-engine footage, right? So I feel like that made it feel a lot more credible. But getting it into our hands is another question. So I think it's cool that we got the character customizer, but I think that's let's see what else have they added to the game that they talked about during CitizenCon that we didn't have before. I know that there's a lot, but I feel like that's the biggest one. Oh, and the UI updates. Character customizer and UI updates. And I think that's the two biggest features we've gotten, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. There was a lot of other stuff that they didn't talk about, like big changes to ores and mining, big changes to trading, to salvaging we've had.
Yeah, that's true. A lot more kind of like evolutionary, but not revolutionary features. It's like improving
Yeah, we've had a
existing
lot
gameplay.
of this patch had a lot of evolution.
Yeah. All right, I'm joining you in the server. I should have a mining order or a refinery order that I can go and sell off. I did some mining off camera a couple days ago. I forget how enjoyable mining can be just to kind
I'm
of
actually
like
in another
chill
group
out.
that's doing Xenothreat right now. If you want, I can join you instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm already loading into yours.
Yeah, that's cool.
So unless you guys are like needing the server spot, I think I'll just stick around.
Yeah, we're doing Xenothreat right now.
Are you winning, son?
I think we just
I was kind of debating stepping into Xenothreat tonight. I've shown it on stream before. The big change is that now you can board the Idris. But I've learned from painful experience that trying to do stuff like that on stream is a good way to get someone on the server to just shoot you before you can do anything that you wanted. That looks uncomfortable. Herb says those scrappy looking weapons give big Mad Max vibes. Do you think they will have ships that have that similar aesthetic as well, like even scrappier than Drake? They showed something during the Squadron 42 demo that fits the vibe that you're talking about. They showed a Drake Cutlass that looked like it had a lot of external modifications done. So I think that that's a very strong possibility.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
I need to go to the refinery and deposit my ores. I've never noticed this part before. I wonder if the shadows are usually stronger here, so I just don't notice it. And colors should be better this time around. Last time I was streaming, I was really fighting the game when it came to the HDR color settings. So it was putting a blue cast on everything. But I figured out that it was because Vulkan does not support HDR yet in Star Citizen. And so if you disable that, then it works better. And with this most recent update, they fixed it so it stops trying to push things into the SDR color profile. Because what was happening is it would, because it doesn't support HDR, it would bring up the Windows SDR color profile, which on my monitor looks nothing like my HDR color profile, and it made the colors look really weird. But in the more recent 3.23 updates, it doesn't do that anymore. So I actually get at least normal looking colors, which I appreciate because that was a major eyesore. Frames are a bit choppy. I'm hoping that once it's done optimizing shaders, like it says in the bottom left, that'll calm down. Because this patch has been pretty good for me.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Okay, pull out the Taurus.
Your vehicle has been
Hangar 6. Is that a max lift tractor beam on your back, or are you just happy to see me? Jeez. Things that happen in Star Citizen. I love the Constellation's mood lighting. Nice and romantic every time you start the ship up. Did you defan or something? Can't hear you in VC. Oh, I think it automatically disconnected me.
Yeah.
I hear you now, Wills.
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah, I hear you now, too.
mean deep.
That's weird. It still showed me as connected. I just had to switch to Discord and then it started working again. Is it still working?
Yeah, it's working now.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah, we thought you just weren't talking.
Yeah, well, I thought Vader was just talking to Wifey, so he just wasn't saying anything back, and I was like, okay, all right, do what you got to do.
Yeah, I thought you were just making your own conversation so that you weren't bothering what I was doing or something.
I thought you were just talking to the stream, and I just didn't hear it.
Just concentrating on the stream.
Well, I mean,
we got that cleared up.
I am always doing that. But no, I just didn't realize that I had dropped out of the voice chat. Let's take this on over to Crusader.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Let's just do it this way. I keep forgetting that we have a search function now. And it's very nice when you remember to use it.
Only when you remember to use it.
Well, it doesn't do you any good if you don't, right? It's not letting me set a route because I'm obstructed. I guess let's try and get further away from the station. Nope, still obstructed. Let's see. How do I go back to myself? Do it. Okay, let's do this quick jump, and then hopefully that'll let me get out of the airspace here. Stations are weird sometimes, like they don't want you to leave.
They want to keep their customers cool.
Yeah. Well, I won't be a customer for long if I can't go out and get that cheddar, right?
Potentially.
Okay, please let me set a route, game.
So all this.
I guess I'll try getting further and further from the station until it lets me jump anywhere. Will it let me jump to... Okay, it'll let me go here. No, it won't. It says I'm too close. Okay, now it's letting me set a route to Crusader. Guess I was just too close to the station.
Actually, so.
Just have to keep that in mind for the return trip, I guess. So I think my plan for this stream is I was going to sell off the order I currently have, go mine a replacement order, so I have something to log in for next time. And then I wanted to do a bounty mission, and then I was planning on switching over to Everspace just to kind of show a contrast between these two games. Everspace is a lot more arcadey than Star Citizen is, and intentionally so, but I've been having a lot of fun playing it.
Everspace, huh?
Yeah, have you played that one?
Oh, I have.
It's been pretty good so far. It's running on the Unreal Engine. The cutscenes are kind of that moving comic book style that you see in a lot of other games. But it's been pretty good so far. I'm like 2-3 hours into it, and it actually supports joystick controls.
Nice.
Yeah. It recommends playing with a controller, but joysticks are the way to go. A lot more fun. The other thing I've been grinding a lot of is I've been watching Psych. I have never actually watched the show. Now I'm halfway through season 7. It's been like 2 weeks since I started, so that's been a lot of fun.
Psych, huh?
Yeah. I feel like I would be Sean Spencer in that world. I know everybody likes to think that they're the main character, but I feel like Sean's my spirit animal.
Huh?
Which would also help explain why I'm so inept when it comes to relationships. Alright, let's see. Where is the landing zone? It's over here off to the right. Hope nobody gets vertigo super easy. My streams would not be very good for those kind of people.
Well, it is a game about flying spaceships.
It is. Yep. But, you know, typically when you step onto the airplane, you don't expect the pilot to say, "Let's try spinning. That's a nice trick." Though I would be all for it if my pilot wants to do a barrel roll between here and San Diego. I'd be fine with it. That'd be fun. Steltech says in the comments, Connie for the win. Connie is a great ship, man. I don't know that it's necessarily what I like as a daily driver per se, but it is very nice. I prefer my drivers a little smaller. But that's why I've got the what's it called? The Zeus Mark II CR? Or is it the ES? No, it's the MR. That's what it is. Got the bounty hunting version coming whenever they decided to release that.
Mark.
Yeah. I cannot see anything. Oh, jeez, no! Whoop. I thought that was my headlight button. It was not my headlight button.
Your afterburners?
Cruise control.
Oh, yeah.
I just did the Yeet 3000 into the hangar, but hey, you know, at least we didn't pop. We survived.
Landing you can walk away from, right?
Any landing you can walk away from, that's right.
Better if you get to reuse the craft.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bonus.
So look at this. Hey.
I didn't catch that. What'd you say, Wills?
I said I was going to watch the clip again.
Yeah, someone can clip that. I'm sure I made a great face for it. Go up. On the thing. There we go. Still got the max lift sticking out of my back. Wonder if I just like re-equip it, will that fix it? No? Okay, let's try this. There we go. Taking it into the station inventory and then taking it back out, that fixed it. Got some frame setters there.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
For the Connie. And then we sprint to the TDD.
Refined ores on there?
Yes. Yeah, I got some Bexelite, barrel, a little bit of iron, which is meh.
Iron and barrel are pretty worthless, but gold got a huge buff.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, it's
I
an
did
A
not.
tier. It is A tier now.
Oh, okay.
It is almost as valuable as Bexelite and Laranite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is it still pretty plentiful?
Kind of depends on where you're searching, but can be.
The next shuttle is approaching the station.
This one, right? The main residential area in Orison is Cloudview, isn't it?
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Yeah.
What's the best site for checking ore distributions? I used to use Galog, but it seems like that hasn't been updated in a while.
I use SC Trade Tools.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Flip green. Oh.
I just found out the other day that there is a site called Snare Plan. Have you heard of that one? Basically helps you figure out a route for setting up in a mantis to rip people out of quantum.
Oh.
I got some people recommending it in my comments on the last video because I talked a lot about using quantum snares. There's all these tools that exist for Star Citizen that I don't know, there's so many you just never hear about all of them, you know?
Yeah.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
Here we are at Cloudview.
I finally was able to clip it.
Yeah.
It's in the stream chat too.
Well, you're doing good work. I have no idea how to do any of that.
It would not let me edit it in the landscape mode. I had to be in the straight mode.
Okay, so 30,000 credits. Hey, I wasn't done with that. Give me back the screen. Minus 45 for the barrel. That's not too bad. And 4,000 for the iron.
Pocket change. That iron, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you have it, you might as well refine it, right?
Yeah. I like beryl or corundum.
Oh, I think oh man, I'm kicking myself. I bought the Argo Mole saddlebags for my prospector. I was supposed to bring them in the Connie with me so that I could try and re-equip them onto the prospector, because it wouldn't let me do anything with the tractor beam at the Lagrange point, but well, I'll have to figure that out some other time.
It is what it is.
Yep. But you can get the Prospector to carry 48 SCU instead of the standard 32 by trading up to the Argo Mole bags.
Oh.
The next shuttle is approaching
Yeah,
the
it's pretty
station.
cool. Gives it a, what would that be? 32
Last call for
subtracted from
passengers.
48
The
is
shuttle is preparing to
16, so it gives it a 50% boost in capacity.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have claimed my Prospector while I was still at the station. That would have been smarter. It would probably be ready to go by now. I think it's probably because I have DLS turned on, but a lot of the signs when you step back from them, they quickly become illegible.
Last call for passengers. The shuttle is preparing to depart.
So I assume it's just some of the subsampling making things look a bit more smeared.
Last call for passengers.
But hey, at least
The
my
shuttle is
frames are
preparing
better.
to depart.
And I just realized the window that you look through is the walkway for the shuttle. That thing's gonna get super gross. With all those people's shoes walking on top of that thing, it's gonna get so grimy.
To dispose of any trash at appropriate receptacles. No stress, no mess. Enjoying the view? Our recently redesigned Crusader Industries shuttlecraft feature expanded vista opportunities with their the next shuttle is approaching.
Here we are back at the station. How long does it take to claim a Prospector?
Did you enjoy the stunning wonder of Crusader's very own gentle giants, the Stormwalls? Then why not take a look at the very own
Stay at the luxurious accommodation.
available throughout the terminal.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
So MISC takes 9 minutes? Okay,
Your
that's not too
insurance
bad.
claim has been sent.
3 minutes if I expedite it.
Please visit
That gives me just enough time to do a little browsing of SC Trade Tools to figure out where I'm going to go. Let's see. This up here. Mining. Okay, I have not seen this chart before. So you've got ore composition, and this is standard deviation indicators. So if you find an E-type asteroid, that doesn't seem right. Quantanium is a lot more rare now. This is saying that you'll find it with between 50 and 27.5% quantanium. That's only in 5% of the rocks, though. Okay, but where do I find spaceship, I guess?
Yeah, it's got a lot of information to go through.
Yeah.
Noticing that, huh?
Uh-huh. But what if I want to see, like, what if I want to search Daymar and see what kinds of stuff spawns on Daymar? Does it have that kind of option?
Yeah, you can do that. Let's see. How do we get there from go to home? Oh no, go just do a search for all of the ship mining ores.
I think I got it. Okay, so where's Daymar on this list?
I was at the top. Could be close to the top.
Okay, here we go. Daymar. Okay, so I'm on the mining page. And I've got moon surface selected, and then got Daymar highlighted.
Don't go to the mining page. Go to the ores page.
Ores page.
Yeah. What you want is on the ores page.
Okay.
I think.
Well,
Or
so
no.
these are all the available ores, but this doesn't say like where you find them.
Mining ship. Oh yeah, you were right. You just go to the mining page, and then don't put any filters in. Just don't put any filters in except for tell it that your mining equipment is spaceship.
Okay. Let's reset that then and submit. Oh, okay. I see.
There you go.
OVI breakdown.
Yeah. So click on the question mark.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what they
the
estimate you'll be making a certain time period, maybe like per hour. I don't know.
okay.
If you concentrate on mining that ore that
Yeah.
place.
Oh, ore value index. Sum of value by volume. Huh. What's the base unit for this though?
I'm not sure. I think it's just their own rating of how profitable that ore is in that place based on how easy it is to find in large quantities.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but I wish that they showed how they get that unit.
Yeah, it would be nice if that was a bit more transparent.
Yeah. If anyone in the SC Trade Tools is watching, do that, and I'll be very happy.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle.
But it seems like Daymar is one of the best places to mine, right?
Your insurance claim has been sent.
That's what SC Trade Tools says.
Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
Arguably the best place to mine.
Yeah.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the
Hangar 7. So I made close to 100,000 selling that off, right? Because I made 45 plus 30, that would be 75. Okay, so about 80,000 credits. Not terrible. I only spent like 5-10 minutes looking for that cluster that I mined. It's certainly not as profitable as just selling all the drugs that you get from the mercenary missions. Slooty and Goldie have been raking it in that way.
And what?
Just taking the drugs that you get from the mercenary missions and selling them.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a good idea.
Oh, yeah, they've been making a killing.
That's what I need to do. Of buying merchandise to sell like a loser.
Just take it.
Yeah. Take it from people who own it illegally so they can't sue you.
Yep. It's the circle of life. It moves us all.
You simply take the war bonds from people that have it, and now you have it, and now it's legal because you took it from criminals.
Yeah, I mean, if you're stealing something that's stolen, it's no longer stolen. Cancels it out, right?
Yeah.
So if
Really?
you steal something illegal, it's legal.
Yeah, that's how it works. Clearly. Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah.
At somebody else's home.
Well, that is the idea, right? You can't really steal from yourself.
Yeah.
No, simply if you got an illegal item, get a friend to kill you and obtain that item, then kill the friend, and now you have it back. Magic. Isn't magic wonderful?
The transitive property of illegality. What kind of sunglasses are those that you put in chat, Wills? Is that a sparkle or is it like a streamer on it?
I got no clue. I just clicked on sunglasses in the YouTube emojis page. Number one, what the hell?
Smitty Werbenyang. What was the name? Smitty Werbenman Jenkins? Who's the one that SpongeBob says was #1? Oh shoot, this is on the wrong side of the planet. I don't want to be on the dark side. I want to be where I can see the sun. Here we go. Tamden will get better.
You can see the sun if you crash into the planet. Then you'll understand the station.
That is true. Not exactly what I'm going for, though.
Oh, darn.
I just might want to live. I think this is the Foundation Festival skin that I have on the Prospector right now. It's kind of neat because all I had to do was do some training missions, and it's attributed to the account forever, in spite of me not technically owning a Prospector.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
pretty
kind of
cool.
fun. Yeah. I like blue, so blue and white skin looks pretty good. Oh, what did I set to scanned? I can't remember now. I need to figure that out, though, before I get too far into this. Otherwise, it'll be a short trip, because I won't find anything.
I mean, I have the Prospector deck, the hull paints.
Oh, I don't have anything equipped set to it. That's why it's not working. Let's not use that one.
A lot of desync on this server. Hard to fight.
Okay, let's do... Alright, that should be good. Okay. I can work with that. Okay, what direction do I want to go? I think I want to go due north. So where's 0? Oh, there's something over there. What are you? I think the server performance is hurting the UI because it's saying I've got 100% signal strength, but it's also not letting me do anything about it. I'll just have to get closer, I guess. Thank you, Wills. 17,000 says I can't break it. 55% iron or copper. Where's the next one? Okay, I guess we'll go to this one. This one's slightly closer. Okay, those are gems. Go to this one up here. Wait, no, those are gems. This is a cluster of rocks. What do you contain? 100% inert materials. Say it ain't. Oh, wait. Oh no, this one's got some gold. Gold and iron. Let's see, I'm gonna pull up the trade tools. Okay, gold goes for 7,000. Okay, yeah, so it is up there, like you were saying with Bexelite.
Yep, A tier ore. S tier, of course, being titanium.
Sure, yeah. But good luck finding that in sizable quantities now, right?
Yeah, not like it used to be.
Ah, but it also says that this is an impossible rock to mine.
Hey.
Oh well, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do. Sometimes you can always sneak by. I doubt it in this case.
It just takes a little patience to crack an impossible rock.
Yeah, that one's not budging. I don't even see a flicker.
What laser are you using?
I've got the Hofstede.
Hofstadter?
Yeah.
That good these days?
It's supposed to be. It's a higher power laser compared to basic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have an easy rock, so I can at least get some gold around here.
Be AFK for a bit.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Shoot. I didn't realize my, I didn't realize the UI wasn't loading properly. Probably just blew that one up. Oops. Okay, let's try and not screw this one up. Oh, this one's got some Laranite. Laranite's... Ooh, Laranite's not that great, actually. Man, there's some good gold rocks, but there's no way I can touch them. And the rock. Don't want to scan that one, I guess. Okay, what about this one? Eh. We need like a scanning radar. You know, it's like if you get something that pings behind you, you have a way to see it still. We got another cluster of something here.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode
on. It says impossible, but I feel like it's close enough. I might be able to swing it. Get a little bit of flicker on the UI, it might work. Really cool if it did. Come on, bud. You could do it.
Yeah. Fun game of how long can I hold mouse one?
Yeah. It's a battle of willpower. Nah, it's not actually increasing. I'm just getting some flutters. Maybe one of these other ones will be better, though.
Maybe.
What do you have?
To mine those rocks, would you need to get the other mining ship?
Probably the Argo Mole. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could slap a ton of mining gadgets on it. Either one should work, but one's a lot more convenient.
As I would assume to be.
Yeah. This UI is glitching out, and it is freaking me out. It keeps going. The Hofstede and the attachment that I have here, this are supposed to make the charge window grow, but it's not being consistent, so it's just kind of doing whatever it wants. Okay, Bores. That should be worth getting. It's kind of mid-tier. That is titanium. That's way down the list, isn't it? Oof. Yeah, that's we're not touching that. That is a waste of cargo space. And that one's 100% titanium, so not touching that either. And same with that one. Okay, more borays. Get that. Did you guys know that titanium is one of the more common metals? The issue that it runs into is it's very difficult to process, and so that holds it from being a more widespread material. But it's actually very common that you'll find titanium oxides. I think more so than iron. A Terranite. Terranite's good. Got some Terranite here. Wait. This one's purple. I think I can just suck the whole thing up. I totally can. Had to give a little bit of cargo space to the titanium, but not too bad. Yeah, not to mention it doesn't play nice on the corrosive scales with other metals. Let's check that. You're talking galvanic corrosion. Galvanic corrosion chart. Let's see if I can remember how to use these things looking at the chart. This is the one I think this is the exact one that I would see in homework problems. So what's this channel? This is Odd Job Entertainment. This is the best Star Citizen YouTuber ever because you get a world-class engineering education at the same time. So if I remember right, the way that you use this chart is you want to pick something... You want to pick things that are less corrosive. That's usually an issue when in direct contact with carbon fiber. Yeah, so I think the way that... Yeah, so you pick something that's as close as possible. You're right. I've got that wrong. So like you could use titanium and gold as a pretty good combination. Titanium and graphite, which is carbon, might actually be better than aluminum. Put to sleep in high school and now many years later. Hey, this is interesting stuff. We're mining and we're learning about how these materials interact with each other. I actually have a video cooking in the background talking about how titanium could be a lot more common as a material if humanity was a spacefaring people, because if you had a titanium manufacturing plant or a titanium processing plant in space where there's no oxygen, a lot of the infrastructure that you require to process titanium, suddenly you don't need it if you live in an oxygenless environment. So stainless steel tends to do pretty good against corrosion because it's so low on the chart. I think that's the way that it works. You want to be as low on the chart and then as close together if you have to pair things together. I've done crystallography though, so oh yeah, this one's got a nice amount of pores in it. I'll just scoop that up. And this was the chungus I couldn't mine. Yeah, but I think that's a different... I think that's a different topic, Schlag, because I think you're talking about scale, because you can have different kinds of oxidation scale. See if I can find a good picture. You've totally got me derailed on this topic now. I hope you realize what you've done. So when metal oxidizes, it creates this film on the outside of the oxide, and depending on the type of metal, sometimes it will form what's called a complete scale. This is kind of talking about how cracks form, but that's not really what we're looking at. Oxide scale types. Let's try that. I can't find a good picture. I might just have to summarize. Okay, well let's picture it this way. So you've got, this is the same picture I was using before, but we're just going to pretend that it shows something that it doesn't, because this is close enough that I can make it work. So sometimes you get a complete scale where all the grains of the oxide form a nice even layer. That's what you get when you have aluminum. Aluminum, it's not that it doesn't oxidize, it's just that it oxidizes with a complete skin, and then that skin protects the deeper parts of the aluminum from oxidizing. And so it stops the oxidation process by creating this very difficult film for the oxygen to penetrate further. Other metals like iron, they get a different kind of scale where they will actually expand as they oxidize, and that creates kind of like a tectonic plate pressure, and so eventually they flake off, and that's what you see when you have rust, is you get these big flakes of metal that are just coming off. Well, that exposes more metal underneath the flakes, which allows the oxides to continue forming, and that's how you can get something that rusts all the way through, because the oxidation process will just keep going through the metal. There's a lot of other metals that form complete scales, like titanium nitride is a pretty common one, where you the nitride is the nitrogen interacted with oxygen, and it forms a skin on your metal and protects the metal underneath it. That one's used a lot on tools because it's very hard, so it makes a pretty good coating for tooling. Yeah, really interesting stuff. I think it's very fascinating, but it was also one of the classes I did the absolute worst in. It's a very challenging subject. It's very chemistry based, and I am not a chemist by any stretch. I like physics and wider mechanical engineering because it makes a lot more intuitive sense to my monkey brain to think of like kinematics, because that's like me throw rock, rock go this far, rock go this fast. You know, when you start talking about chemistry, there's a lot going on underneath the surface that is at the subatomic scale, and it gets above my head pretty quick. It also makes me interested when they add more complexity to salvage and refining those materials. It would be fun if different manufacturers yield different materials and stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that they could potentially explore with all these different mechanics in place. It's just a waiting game of what are they going to do, how are they going to do it, how in depth do they want to go with the science of it all. Did I drop out of Discord again? No, I'm still here.
We've just been talking quietly so you can talk about your chemistry.
Oh, okay. But if engineers had their way, just about everything would be made out of titanium. Everything would be super strong, very lightweight. Titanium and carbon fiber. Yeah, my chemistry. I own chemistry now. It's all me. Is this the same rock I scanned before? I think it is. Wait, let's go. Let's go this way then.
Mining mode on. Mining mode off.
Let's go check this spot over here. This is close. I love titanium, but it's also not very springy, so it tends to have a fun time causing bolt heads to break when they seize up in the aircraft and you're trying to remove them. Yeah, it's also very brittle. Compared to a lot of the more common steels, titanium is quite brittle. But it's very strong. My dad, he has a hip replacement, and he actually broke the titanium insert in his femur a couple years ago, which isn't typical. They're not supposed to do that. But essentially what happened is the rod in his femur broke clean in half, and he started having lots of hip pain, but not really knowing why. And he walked on it for 2 years, and basically what was happening is the femur was wrapped around the... This is going to get clipped on YouTube, I'm sure. The femur was wrapped around the titanium rod, and it's broken, so it's allowed to wiggle around inside the top of his femur, and eventually just kind of bore a bigger hole in the top of his femur. So what would happen is when he'd sit down, his muscles would relax, and then when he'd go to stand up, he'd have excruciating pain, essentially like breaking his leg, because that's essentially what he was doing. His leg was just constantly broken, and his muscles were just holding it in place most of the time. Oh yeah, here's a good one. This one's got Bexlite. Now I've got all this real-world ore stuff on my screen. I can't see the Bexlite. Oh, Bexlite's second tier. Second only to Quantanium, so this one's going to be good.
How can you mine them?
Yeah, this one's the right size. I should have no issue getting this one out.
That's good.
As long as the UI doesn't keep wigging out.
Absolutely.
I was close. Aluminum. Okay, does that actually affect how things break in Star Citizen? Aluminum is very low mass and the rocks tend to break more pure. That's cool. It's been such a long time since I did mining. There's a lot that I need to get caught up on. $65%, that's not terrible. Okay, let's grab this one, because that one's Vexlight and inert materials. And I've got the focus on it, so it's not gonna suck up a ton of inert. $45%. Let's grab this one. Probably gonna fill up here. So we just gotta go in order of what's most valuable. Okay, and it's is it L1? Is it the L1s that have the refineries? Let's see if I click on it, I'll know. Yeah, there's a bunch of mining claims here. What's this ambitious dream? I'll need to remember that for the future. This is the worst part about the Prospector. Its quantum drive is doo-doo. It is not good. I can pull up some stats here. Pull up Urkel. if I plan on just doing my trips in the local vicinity of a planet, I could probably get away with putting a much faster drive on it. Which is probably what I ought to do, honestly. It comes with the Goliath by default, which tops out at, let's just call it 90,000 kilometers per second. So it's definitely not a very fast one. I just put the VK00 on it. I'll still get a distance of 27, which is plenty as long as you don't leave the planetary system, which if I'm at Daymar, not a big deal because I can get from Daymar to Crusader L1.
That's not done no good at all.
Jimmy, you should hear me. Now you do. Okay. Strange. It still shows that the mic is working just fine.
Okay, so you're working on stream. Your audio is coming out on stream now.
Okay. Weird. Yeah, but I didn't change anything, so it's strange that it wasn't working. So you're saying though, Schlag, that the stage 1, stage 2 acceleration is really bad. So if I did something like the drift instead, that would be better? Question mark. Do it this way. Another tab. Yeah, so the VK is really slow for that part. So let's see. Drift is one of the higher ones. Let's put the drift on here. So we're starting at 434. We want to bring that down. Sort alphabetically, make this a little easier. 438. It's making it worse. VK is slow until you do. So, but what's the better drive for doing just like under 10 gigameters? Spectre. Yeah, so the drift is the second one on this list, but it just doesn't improve the time by that much. Is there a way to put my own custom distance in here? Oh yeah, there is. Let's do that. So 2 minute 30 for that one versus 3 minute 13 for the base one. So the drift would be better. Spectre would be bestest. Well, it's actually, the drift is like neck and neck with it in this case. Kind of doesn't matter when we're already there. I spent all that time looking. Yep. I'm gonna reach over here, grab my vitamin T for Tums.
Yeah, if you feel too bad, or if you're not feeling too great, you could end stream because streamers' health comes first before content.
It does, but it's also just heartburn. It's not like I'm gonna die. I can push through. I just need drugs. I don't know if Tums counts as drugs.
Chemistry.
What?
Better living through chemistry.
Yeah, exactly. Better living through chemistry. Civilian burst is good too. Grade B civvies, but fast-ish and way better range. I think they changed the audio for the Prospector. It does kind of like a old choo-choo train sound, like a chugging.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Landing gear down.
Okay, here we go. And I think after I put in my refinery order, I'm going to switch to playing a little bit of Everspace 2. Because with that game, I know I'll get reliable frames. And I do want to show that off. It's a really cool game.
Yeah. Hopefully by the time 1.0 and Star Citizen comes out, it actually has reliable frames.
Yeah, well, there's been some interesting stuff going on in the test preview channel. They're doing another server meshing test. And I've heard mixed results, but there are a lot of positives to look forward to, so I'm pretty excited to see what comes of that. I want to do this one. No. I'm trying to pull out the max lift because that's the tractor beam that would let me change the bags, but it's not letting me do it. Yeah, once Xenothreat's over, frames are probably going to go back up. It's a double-edged sword. I like the server events. I like the sense of community that we get from them, but I also kind of hate them at the same time.
Yeah. They definitely bring people together.
Yeah, and that part is really cool. Seeing the massive furball of all this laser fire going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here, Slog. I got the armor, and then it's like, okay, that's enough Xenothreat for me. And if it does make me excited for when CIG releases the Idris to flyable. Oh yeah, man.
Welcome. Finding everything all right?
Just seeing those big ships in game, it is very, very impressive. Let's see. I think it's Dynex is the one that I do. Yeah, very low speed, low cost, high yield. I've got time. Hey. So that's then they're cooking. Yeah. Schlag says, not a hope in heck for me to reliably crew it, but it's cool. It is a very cool ship. Keeping it full of people, though, is going to be a nightmare. With all the guns and systems that should be in place on that, it is going to be pretty tough to keep that thing up and running for any length of time. Close that down. Don't need SC trade tools eating up any memory. Exit the app. Okay, where'd I put it? It's right here. Engineering, 8 Hertz, 3 fighters, deck crew, medical crew, bridge crew, at a minimum for full flight ready. Yeah. It's going to take a lot of people. Engineering, I think, is going to be really interesting because I think the complexity that we'll see for a long time.
Going through some old junk, I found some protective plating for your ship. Might give you an edge in an upcoming fight. I put it in our storage.
At least for a while, I could see it being that the complexity that we have for engineering is such that one person can feasibly do all the stuff, but the physical distances on these ships, I think, are going to make it pretty tough to do quickly, which demands that you have more people on your ship. Let's see. wants me to put the cargo or the hull plating on. I thought I already did that. Go booster. Cargo unit. Let's equip that. It apparently did not store or save the changes I had made last time. So I gotta do this again.
Fits? Dax? Who was Gabbard Voigt? I wondered. They say it was. I didn't. That war, the things we.
Skipping that because I already saw it. You guys can catch it on your own playthrough. This is Everspace 2. This is a game I've been playing a few days. It does support dual joysticks. It's a lot more arcadey feeling with the kind of movement that you do. But it looks really good. It's running on Unreal Engine, so it's got pretty good lighting. And the combat is very simple compared to a sim like Star Citizen. But so far I've had a lot of fun playing it. It's just kind of a it's a good story mission. There's a lot more what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot more progression built in so far compared to Star Citizen. Okay, I think this is where I'm supposed to go.
Keep in mind, the fleet may still be looking for an illegal clone. So when you talk to the trader, try to be as boring as possible. I'm flying a stolen combat ship. You'll think of something.
There's a small amount of engineering right now. You can use RMC canisters on the salvage guns to repair dead components and turrets. It's like, we got this guy on my radar. No, there's more of them there. Maybe I don't want to get into that fight. Let's go to the trading outpost.
For a Prime Sense STA.
That's the pre-war model. Quite rare, but I do have one in stock.
How much is it?
4,200.
4,000?
And 200, yes.
That's expensive. I don't have
you
that.
You don't happen to be a contractor, do you?
No, I'm just into tech like that. That's all.
That's too bad. I could have paid you 2.5k if you'd done a little.
Oh, you don't say.
All you would need to do is deliver a small package to a dear customer of mine.
Really?
Dear customer.
Will you do it?
Sure, why not?
That doesn't sound very committed.
I would be grateful if you let me take this job.
Good. You'll find the package at the abandoned station nearby. I'll give you further instructions once you're there.
Okay. Find the sealed container at the abandoned station. So, I mean, I'm sure already you see that mechanically it's quite a bit more simple compared to Star Citizen.
It does have 3D space.
It does have 3D space. It's 6 degrees of freedom. But like, you don't land anywhere, right? You just kind of like pop into it.
One of them's a pretty nasty viper.
Close and you press Land.
Yeah.
You're landing.
This guy, focus on him first. The combat is also interesting. It's it's got a lot more of a auto aim. Like as long as that circle is in place. Oh. Oh, jeez. Okay, I guess you can't fly away when... Yeah, what am I supposed to... I feel like I was meant to lose that fight. What's going on? Maybe not, I don't know. Let's give it another shot, I guess.
Hi, I'm looking for a Prime Sense STA. That's how much is it?
Okay, maybe I'm just not good at the game. I was supposed to beat those guys, I just didn't, because I'm not that good. I'm gonna go over here where there's hopefully less level 4s. I'm pretty close to level 3. So I might have a chance of taking these guys out. If there's just the two of them here. But you'll see like the little red circle on my UI. Once it's over the target, all my bullets just go there.
Yeah.
And the movement is very different too. It's a lot more twitchy compared to Star Citizen. Like you can whip your ship around very quickly.
It doesn't seem to care at all about G's.
Yeah. Which I mean, it's not a bad thing, right? It's a different kind of game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take these, thank you.
You do still have things like targeting you worry about.
I think it rewards a pretty aggressive style.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot more. It's a lot more action and intensity, where Star Citizen is a lot more mechanic based.
Yeah.
So now I'm level 3. Maybe now I've got a better chance taking these guys on.
That station doesn't look abandoned to me. How many are there? 5. One of them's a pretty nasty Viper. I knew it. Don't let them get away.
Maybe I'm just supposed to go after... Okay, no, the Viper just yeeted out of there.
Supposed to go for those drones or something?
I think I'm supposed to take these 3 guys on. Oh, much better results this time around.
Got 4, but the Viper jumped out. Is the package still there?
This guy's just worried about his goods. What about me? How do you think the package is gonna get there if I'm dead?
Can't find it anywhere. What ship types did the group fly? Apart from that elite Viper, there were 2 Madcaps, a Scout, and a sniper drone. Just as I thought. I hate those guys. They'd pestered me to sell them the wares, but I turned them down. They didn't happen to have left their address by any chance? The Viper pilot has his lair in Rhodia orbit. I would be very grateful if you could get my package back. This
4,000
will cost
credits.
you. How about a raise up to 3.5k? Sounds fair. I'm on it.
Rhodia is where my home base is. Let's see, I wanna take these guys out too, because I need the XP.
Well, that happened.
I didn't realize that guy wasn't dead. Oh, and I left some credits over here? What is this thing? Plasma.
You're doing a lot better this time.
Yeah. I was a little rusty.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's easy to run away.
No, once you're engaged in combat, like you have the you have this cruise drive, but you can't use it in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then though that purple thing that you see on screen, that's a Weber drone. It gets you in a tractor beam, and then you can't go anywhere until you kill it. Yeah, so this is all PvE. There's no PvP element so far as I know. So it's kind of like I've been treating it as like Star Citizen if I just want to chill out a bit more.
Yeah. On cinematic mode.
Yeah. And like it's still got decent challenge, and there's a lot to appreciate for it. But the stakes aren't nearly as high as, you know, losing 1 million credits in Star Citizen. You just go back to the last checkpoint here.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
Right. We've all been there.
Oh.
But performance is great. Boy, there's a lot of these guys. Get some time away from the shots. I can recharge.
Put beat on you.
There's that Viper. Save him for last.
It's a pretty cool game.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it.
What's it called?
Everspace 2.
Everspace 2.
I think that is the sound of a missile tracking me. Never had that before, actually. There's also much less risk to, like, bumping into stuff. So I'm a lot less worried about pulling off maneuvers that I'd be a bit more hesitant to do in Star Citizen.
Pulled through yet again.
The controls can be a little interesting, though. Because you move so quickly, I kind of struggle to not overpass things. I might just need to lower my sensitivity, though. Might just be a me thing.
Fuel issue.
It's, yeah. In this case, it definitely is.
Looks pretty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the lighting is great. Okay. Let's take this guy out now. It's like he's hiding from me. Come out.
Did the trader send you? Yeah. Don't. I warned you. Hey, it's me.
Got missiles and guns.
Contain some Viridian paint by any chance? Yes, that's it. The recipient is already waiting for you at the outer rim. You know that Viridian products are illegal. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying you so well to ask questions. Point taken.
Hey, we went mining in Star Citizen. This is mining in Everspace.
Oh. Wow.
Which it's fun in a totally different way. I like it. It scratches the I just want to see stuff blow up itch. I love good. How much of the challenge is based on your level versus enemy levels rather than skill good piloting? I I feel like I can punch above my weight class quite a bit. So I feel like there is a pretty good amount to say for skill level. I think Star Citizen does help me do better than a new player would in this game if they haven't done any space sims. And it is ship only. There's cutscenes that show your character, but you never control them on foot. It's always just a cutscene. It's kind of like an evolution of the old Asteroids game. Is the art style and whatnot remind me a lot of that.
Yeah, or Galaga, or Dexter, or Sinistar.
Yeah. Okay, so these guys are blue. I assume these are who I'm supposed to give it to then. Right? That makes sense. I guess we'll find out real quick if these guys start shooting at me.
Are you the guys I'm supposed to meet? You have the package? Yeah, here. This paint job will finally make us stand out. They will see that we're not like everyone else. Am I the only one who prefers to not stand out around here? Time to head back to the trader.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was watching a YouTuber play Freelancer. I was actually thinking about getting into it myself just to see what it's about. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to graphics, and it is an older game, so I don't know if I could push past that.
A scout, a sniper drone, and an elite Viper pilot? Yeah, they're quite the raggle-taggle group. It's really hard not to like them, isn't it? They're exactly the same as the guys you just made me fight. Nah, there's a big difference. Return to my shop and you'll understand.
It was extremely fun at the time. I feel the same way about the I'm sure you guys have heard of it, Battlezone.
Oh yeah, Battlezone was great.
Oh yeah, I had, or I guess my dad had a version of it for DOS that we got working on the Windows 98 PC that we had when I was a kid, and I was never good at it, so I never got past like the second planet, because I think you start off on like the moon and then you go to Mars after. And I got a updated version of it, but playing through it with the mechanics that it has, it just kind of made me realize that, yeah, this game is kind of past its prime.
Yeah. There are some games that don't hold up very well.
Yeah. The big thing that kept... Oops, didn't mean to do that. The big thing that kept throwing me off was instead of your target reticle staying in the center of your screen, it would instead move around on the screen, up and down, and then left to right would get you to rotate. So just keeping track of my reticle was like, oh, where's this thing going?
Yeah.
Excellent job. Here are your credits.
Great.
Oh, and one more thing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
When the two Viper pilots came by to order the paint, the first one just barged in, slammed his money on the counter, and made his proposition. While the other one began by asking if it was okay for him to dock here. When I said yes, he thanked me. Can you believe that?
That's, amazing.
Life out here is cruel and violent, and barely anyone treats their neighbor as their equal. So just hearing a friendly thank you every once in a while means something to me. Sometimes it's the small things that really make us stand out.
Yeah, right.
Girl told me I had pretty eyes in 8th grade, and I've never forgotten it.
You're very much welcome, my friend.
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I've heard a lot of good things about that one too. It was before my time, but I think it's at least worth checking out. Stock up on missiles.
TIE Fighter was great, and I think it's still fun, even though the graphics do not hold.
Yeah.
One pre-war system scanner coming.
And I don't know whether that would stop you from going it or not, but it is enjoyable.
This is probably the one at Prescott Starbase in Union.
And X-Wing versus TIE Fighter was pretty good.
Kidding, right? Out here, no one ever cared about infrastructure.
That whole series, the series was first X-Wing, and then TIE Fighter, and then X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
No problem.
Of the three, I think TIE Fighter is the best one, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. Very atmospheric. Like when you first sign up, the game doesn't ask you what your name is. No, you're coming up to an Imperial registrar. And he says, "Enter your name, pilot."
Okay.
Yeah, and you type it in, or you select a record that's already there.
Like that scene in Han Solo or Solo: A Star Wars Story, but hopefully better.
Good, yeah. And the menu is a concourse. You go to various rooms, and it tells you below, which room it is that you're selecting, which room what that's going to do. Whether it's going into one of the simulators or going into a information room or doing your next mission, selecting which mission you're going to do, stuff like that.
Okay. So it tries to do everything diegetically, kind of like Star Citizen does.
Yeah, it's very diegetic, yes. And then the missions are good. There's a flight officer who gives you your primary mission objectives, and then there's a shadowy figure who gives you any secondary mission objectives you might have for the Emperor. And then there may be even...
Dax? Come in, Dax. Any news? So I just bought the STA, and guess what? There are no medical stations out here.
I told you we would come across something with enough time.
I don't have time. Why am I getting the feeling you're just using me to beef up your crappy station on the cheap?
Listen, I didn't have to take you in or stick your friend in my freezer. I'm trying to help you, but we gotta do it my way. With patience and under the radar.
This is taking far too long.
For people like us, it is what it is. There are no shortcuts in the DMZ. You still there? Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm here. A delivery convoy for G&B just jumped in. All automated, barely guarded, and completely packed. I'll be damned if they're not hauling a medical pod.
Well, and now they're gone. What the heck?
Remember what I said about being boring? This is sticking your fingers in the faces of the very people you want to avoid.
I'm sorry, Dax. My friend is in trouble, and this is my chance to help him. The convoy's AI-driven. There are just a few guards. I might even manage to steal the meds without any trouble at all.
I think we're gonna get in trouble.
If this operation goes south, it's on you, and your head alone. Got it?
Lost you, Vader. Let's see. Okay, my audio is still coming through. Just had to check.
Yeah, I get it. It's been like that all my life.
So you guys have probably figured out my character is a clone. And beyond that, I don't really know what that means, except that for some reason my existence is illegal.
Oh. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. So I've got the colonial militia after me. Presumably they want to probe me, study me, something like that.
Good. They're still locked in transit.
I don't think that they'll be able to probe or study you if you're blown to pieces.
Game logic. They can do whatever the lore demands.
And security? Don't worry. It won't detect me if I manage to avoid the scanning beams. Those can be tampered with by hacking the terminal itself. Easy going.
So I think I've got two options here. I can hack the terminal, disable the beams, or maybe I can just fly through.
I scanned 3 candidates for where they might carry their medical equipment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I can access that guy. I can probably access this one. Maybe? Medical supplies. Where's the terminal for this thing? Because I feel like I'm going to have to spend a little more time in there than I actually want to.
Let's slow things down a bit. This should give me a few seconds.
That was close. Woo!
Pilot detected. Please distance yourself from the scanning port. Thank you. Further approaches will be retaliated against immediately.
Okay, so you gotta be quick. Oh, jeez. Wrong button. Sure, all of this will come in handy at some point.
Some random tech. Why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna let that time out and then activate it again. I don't think it gives me enough time to be able to access 2 ships at a time.
Come on, where do you keep the meds?
Game logic tells me it's going to be in the very last one I checked, right?
Please enter authorization for medical equipment.
Great. Dax? Yeah? I just found the med pod, but for some reason it's under higher security. Do we have lock breakers in our hangar? If I can get this thing to base, I might be able to crack it.
We may have something, but how are you planning to move an entire pod through supralight?
I am not. That it will do all by itself. Just have to get my hands on that main server.
Distribution server. Terminal. That server. Same idea.
Let's see if my old signature will do the trick. Ah, I'm in!
Forcing coordinate override. Override successful. Distributing to Rhodia 2. Shipment compromised. Initiate lockdown. Redistributing remaining cargo to mining outposts.
Scrap.
I guess we're not getting those.
Better get out of here. Tell me what's happening. No time. Gotta make a quick jump.
Come on. There we go. Managed to get into super light.
I think I shook him.
Your pod just arrived.
Perfect.
Get your ass back here ASAP. You and me need to have a word.
Okay, so I think I'll finish up this section. It's probably gonna do a cutscene when I get back to Rhodia 2, and I'll probably call it quits after the cutscene. But what do you guys think? I've been having a lot of fun playing Everspace. It's a good one to mix in between some of the jank that you have with Star Citizen. You got your space game that at least works consistently while we wait for Star Citizen to get better.
What the hell were you thinking? You know we're trying to keep a low profile. How did you reroute this thing anyway?
With my G&B signature. Look, I had to do something for Ben. It'll be fine. You'll see.
I'm not happy about this at all. Let's see what you got then.
There's a whole medical lab in here. We can strip it for parts and ditch the vessel somewhere after.
Well... looks like you've gone and stolen yourself a doctor.
Wait!
This needs off my base now, before she wakes up. Eject that thing!
Hey, hold on. What were you saying to me earlier about trusting a little?
Trust is something hard to come by in the DMZ. Don't abuse it.
How are you so sure she'll turn us in?
'Cause she's GNB. She'll reveal our location first chance she gets.
She's a doctor. We can persuade her to help us. For Ben's sake.
Well, you are a clone. I shouldn't expect you to understand human behavior.
Upgrades, dude.
Let's think about
It's a
this.
bit below the belt.
We thaw her out and have her decide. If she won't help us, we freeze her again and drop her off near some G&B outpost.
You don't understand what's at stake. Why I needed to come back here. That medical popsicle could jeopardize everything.
Well, if there's
Mystery.
more to this, then you need to tell me what it is.
There's something of great value in the DMZ. It's the reason I've been waiting all these years. One big, easy job. It could be my ticket out of here. And yours too, if you could just play along.
Well, I'm intrigued.
Come on up to the control room, and I'll explain. I got a transmission through to my colleague, Maddox. He's on Prescott Starbase, in the Union system, but I can't use the jump gate. You could help me with this.
And that's where this mysterious job is?
Not quite. Like I said, it's where Maddox is. There are others involved, and I can't do the job without them.
Look, who are these colleagues of yours? And what is this job anyway?
All you need to know right now is that it's a time-sensitive operation, and it'll be worth your while.
Okay. So you want to use the jump gate?
Exactly. And your G&B signature can get me through. Look, I know you want to know more, but it's too dangerous. I like you, and I'm offering you the biggest opportunity of your life. And I'm willing to go along with your plan with the ice nurse in the hangar, up to a point. If she proves difficult, I want her out in the vacuum. Find me a way to Prescott Starbase, and you'll get your ticket out of the DMZ. Thanks to the new scanner, we can now reach far deeper into the system. I just had it scan the vicinity of Nerea. This is what came up.
Good old Grady and Brunt.
Maybe you could snatch us some spare jump keys from your old buddies.
I can't head back to my former station, but maybe Nephthys planes could work.
If they don't recognize your signature as the one that just raided their distribution port.
You're giving their databases too much credit. Some weeks ago, a controller sold out his entire team to scavengers. And when I left, he was still listed as Employee of the Month.
All right. But before you go, you need to promise me one thing.
What's that?
If you can't get the keys, come back here and we'll figure out something else. Just don't bring back an entire team of Frozen Gate engineers.
Why? More engineers is more better. Okay, so let's save. Okay. All right, and I think that that's going to be it for me tonight, guys. But like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Let me know what you think about Everspace 2. I'd like to play more of it on stream. I've been having a lot of fun playing it myself. And until next time, this is Odd Job Entertainment. Well, I need to get the screen up so I can actually end the stream at the right time. This is Odd Job Entertainment, signing off.